The council chamber was silent, but it was not calm. Rows of alien delegates sat in curved lines, each one watching the center of the room. A soft blue light filled the space. It came from a floating ring above the floor. Inside that ring, a small image of Earth slowly turned. To most of them, it was just another world. Blue water, white clouds, green land. Nothing special. But the reports told a different story. A tall gray figure spoke first. Its voice was smooth and cold. Humans grow too fast. They do not follow guidance. They do not respect limits. Another voice joined, sharp and uneasy. They learn our systems and change them. They build faster than we can track. Murmurs spread across the chamber. Some agreed. Some did not. One delegate, smaller and covered in soft fur, raised a hand. They are young. All young species act this way at first. The gray figure turned slightly. Most young species listen. Silence followed. At the center, a bright symbol appeared. It was the mark of a vote. One by one, lights began to glow. Red for removal, blue for support. The count moved slowly at first, then faster. Red began to win. Far away, on Earth, no one knew this vote was happening. The planet moved as it always did. Cities were busy. Skies were full of aircraft. People lived their lives. In a quiet lab under a research center, a man named Alan Brooks stared at a screen. Alan was not famous. He was not rich, but he was careful. He watched things others ignored. His screen showed strange signals, broken data, pieces of a language that was not human. He leaned closer. "That is not noise," he said softly. He worked fast, pulling the data apart, putting it back together. The signal became clearer. Words formed. He froze. "Vote Exile Earth." He read it again. Then again. His heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. "This is real," he said. He stood up and walked to a secure terminal. He sent a message to two people. The first was Lisa Grant. Lisa was a captain, but not of a warship. She led a test fleet, ships used for research and deep space work. She was known for staying calm under pressure. The second was Kevin Ross. Kevin was an engineer. He worked on drives and power systems. People said he could fix anything, even things that should not work. The message was short. "Come now. Urgent." Hours later, they met in the lab. Lisa crossed her arms. "This better be serious, Alan." Kevin looked around. "You pulled me out of a live test." Alan did not waste time. He showed them the data. At first, they did not understand. Then Lisa leaned forward. "This is a council message?" Alan nodded. Kevin frowned. "That is not possible. We are not even full members." Alan spoke quietly. "They are voting to remove us before we get there." Lisa went still. "Remove how?" Alan pointed at the words. "Cut trade. Block travel. Isolate Earth." Kevin shook his head. "They cannot do that. We have done nothing wrong." Alan looked at him. "They do not care." The room fell silent. Lisa took a slow breath. "How long do we have?" Alan answered. "Not long. Maybe weeks. Maybe less." Kevin ran a hand through his hair. "So what do we do?" "Wait for them to tell us." Alan shook his head. "No." Lisa looked at him. "Then say it." Alan met her eyes. "We move first." The idea hung in the air. Kevin let out a small laugh. "Move where?" Alan pointed at a star map. "Everywhere." Lisa's expression changed. Not fear, not anger. "Focus. You are serious." Alan nodded. "We cannot fight the whole galaxy, but we can leave it." Kevin blinked. "Leave." Alan stepped closer to the map. "We stop relying on them. We build our own routes, our own systems, places they do not know." Lisa spoke slowly. "That will take years." Alan shook his head. "We do not have years. We start now." Kevin looked between them. "This is crazy." Lisa looked at him. "Maybe, but waiting is worse." Kevin sighed. "Fine. If we do this, we do it right." Alan gave a small nod. "Good." In the days that followed, quiet changes began. Messages moved through hidden channels. Leaders were informed, but not all at once. Only those who would act fast. Factories shifted their work. Old ships were called back. New designs were pushed forward without delay. Lisa returned to her fleet. She walked along the metal halls, watching crews work. "We are changing mission," she told them. No one asked why. They trusted her. Kevin worked day and night. He tested engines that bent rules, power systems that should not exist. "It will hold," he muttered, even when he was not sure. Alan stayed in the lab. He watched the signal again and again. The vote was still going. More red lights appeared. Back in the council chamber, the final count came in. The decision was made. Earth would be exiled. No one cheered. It was not a happy choice, but it was done. A message was prepared. It would be sent soon. But when the signal reached Earth, something was different. There was no panic, no shock, no demand for answers. Instead, deep in space, the first human ships began to move. Quietly, quickly, without waiting. Humanity had already decided. They would not sit and be judged. They would not wait to be pushed. They would go where no one could follow. And they would not look back. The news did not spread in a loud way. There were no public speeches, no alerts on every screen. Instead, it moved in quiet lines between people who needed to know. Leaders met behind closed doors. Plans were drawn fast and changed even faster. Old rules were set aside. On Earth, something rare began to happen. Nations that often argued started to work together, not because they trusted each other more, but because they all understood the same thing. They were about to be alone. Lisa Grant stood on the bridge of her ship and watched the crew move. The ship was old but strong. It had been used for research, not war. Now it was being changed. Panels were open. Wires ran along the floor. New systems were added in every section. "Status?" Lisa asked. A young officer looked up. "Drive upgrade at 60%. Life support expanded. We can hold more people now." Lisa nodded. "Good. Keep going." She turned to the main screen. It showed a map of nearby space. Dots marked ships. More appeared every hour. They were gathering, not in one place, but in many small groups, spread out, hard to track. Kevin Ross stood in a different place, deep inside a test facility. The room shook as a new engine powered up. "Increase output," he said. A technician hesitated. "Sir, we are close to the limit." Kevin shook his head. That was the old limit. "Push it." The hum grew louder. Lights flickered. For a moment, it felt like the whole system would fail. Then it stabilized. Kevin smiled. "There it is." He wrote numbers on a tablet. "We can go farther now. Faster, too." The technician let out a breath. "You're going to break something one day." Kevin shrugged. "Not today." Back in the lab, Alan Brooks watched the stars. He had built a new map, not of known space, but of empty space. Places where no signals came from. Places the council did not watch. "That is where we go," he said. A woman beside him, Maya Cole, studied the map. "It is risky." Alan nodded. "So is staying." Maya crossed her arms. "We will need supply lines." Alan shook his head. "No, we build self-sufficient colonies. Each one stands alone." Maya frowned. "That will spread us thin." Alan looked at her. "It will keep us alive." Days turned into weeks. Ships left Earth in small numbers. No big launches. No crowds watching. Just quiet departures in the dark. People said goodbye in simple ways. A hug. A few words. Sometimes nothing at all. Lisa walked through a hangar and saw families standing near a transport ship. A child held onto his father's hand. "Are we coming back?" the child asked. The father paused. "Maybe one day." Lisa looked away. She had no answer either. In orbit, stations were expanded. New parts were added day and night. Cargo moved in steady streams. Kevin's engines were installed in more ships. Each one was tested fast, then sent out. "Do not wait for perfect," Kevin said more than once. "We need working." The council message finally arrived on Earth. It was clear and direct. Earth was no longer welcome. All access would be cut. Any ship leaving without approval would be stopped. But by the time the message was read, many ships were already gone. Lisa stood on the bridge again as her ship prepared to leave. "Final checks," she said. "All systems ready," the officer replied. She took a slow breath. "Set course." The ship moved forward, leaving orbit behind. No one chased them. Not yet. Far away, the council began to notice something strange. Human traffic was dropping fast. Trade routes showed fewer signals. Then almost none. One delegate spoke. "They are complying faster than expected." Another replied, "Or they are hiding." Scans were sent out. They found less and less. Back on the human side, the plan moved to its next step. Colonies were placed in deep space. Small at first, just enough to survive. Maya led one of the first groups. Her ship landed on a cold world with thin air. "We can work with this," she said. People stepped onto the ground and began to build. Simple shelters first, then power, then food. Every colony followed the same idea. Be small, be quiet, be ready to move. Lisa's fleet moved beyond known maps. Stars became strange. Signals faded. "We are on our own now," one crew member said. Lisa nodded. That was always the plan. Kevin stayed behind longer than most. He helped send out the last wave of ships. When his own time came, he stood in the engine room of his vessel. "Do not fail me now," he said, almost like a joke. The engine hummed in reply. He smiled. "Good enough." He left Earth orbit and did not look back. Alan was one of the last to go. He sent a final message across hidden channels. Phase departure complete. Then he shut down the system that had listened to the council. Earth grew quiet. Not empty, but different. Fewer ships. Fewer signals. From the outside, it looked like a world that had accepted its fate. But far beyond, in the dark between stars, humanity was spreading, not as one large force, but as many small ones. Hard to see. Hard to stop. They were not waiting anymore. They were already gone. The exile became official across the galaxy. Trade lanes shifted. Maps were updated. Earth was marked as closed. At first, many believed the problem was solved, but reports soon began to show gaps. Human ships were not where they were expected to be. Routes that once held steady traffic were empty. They had withdrawn, one report said. "They have vanished," said another. In the council chamber, concern began to grow. "Track them," a delegate ordered. Scans spread wide. They found almost nothing. Meanwhile, far from the main routes, human ships moved in silence. Lisa Grant stood on the bridge as her fleet passed through a region with no known name. Stars were dim here. Space felt deeper. "Slow down," she said. "Scanning." The crew worked quietly. No signals. An officer reported. Lisa nodded. "This will do." Her fleet began to split. Ships moved in different directions, each carrying people, supplies, and hope. "We build here," she said. On one of those ships, a group led by a man named Eric Hale prepared to land. "Atmosphere is thin but stable," someone said. Eric looked out at the rocky world below. "We can make it work." They landed and began the same steps as others before them. Shelter, power, food. It was hard work, but no one complained. They all knew why they were there. Kevin Ross traveled between groups. His ship was fast and strong. He checked engines, fixed systems, and shared new designs. "Make it simple," he told every team. "Simple things break less." He left each colony better than he found it. Alan Brooks moved less, but his work spread far. He sent updated maps, showing safe paths and hidden zones. "Avoid the main lines," his notes said. "Stay dark." Time passed. Months became years. Human colonies grew stronger. They learned to live with less, to fix what they had, to depend on each other. Back in council space, strange things started to happen. A patrol ship reported a brief contact with an unknown vessel. Design does not match any record. The report said speed was unusual. Another report came later. A cargo group found a station in deep space. It was empty, but it had human marks. "They are building out there," a delegate said. "But where?" No one had an answer. Lisa's fleet had become something new. No longer just a group of ships. It was a network. They moved, traded, and shared knowledge without central control. "We do not need one home," Lisa said during a meeting. "We have many." Her crew agreed. They had changed. They were not the same people who had left Earth. They were harder, faster, more careful, but also more united. One day, Kevin arrived at Lisa's main ship. He walked onto the bridge with a tired smile. "You look busy," he said. Lisa nodded. "We always are." He handed her a small device. New drive system. More stable. Less power. She looked at it. "You never stop." Kevin shrugged. "We cannot afford to." Lisa studied the stars. "Do you think they will come looking?" Kevin thought for a moment. "Maybe, but by the time they find one of us, there will be 10 more they missed." Lisa gave a small smile. "Good." Far away, the council made a choice. Send a search group. They decided. Ships were dispatched to follow old human paths. They found little. A broken relay here. An empty station there. Nothing that showed the full picture. Humanity had spread too far. Too wide. Too quiet. And in that silence, it was growing. Not a single power, but as many small ones. Each one learning. Each one adapting. Each one ready. The exile had not ended humanity. It had changed it. And the galaxy was only just starting to understand what that meant. Years passed, and the galaxy moved on, or at least it tried to. Trade continued. Alliances shifted. New problems took attention. But the thought of humanity never fully faded. They were out there somewhere, waiting, watching. Then the first signal came. It was brief and strange. A patrol ship picked it up at the edge of known space. Unknown transmission. The officer said. They tried to trace it, but it vanished. Days later, another report arrived. A ship had seen a vessel unlike any design in the records. It was sleek and dark. It moved too fast to follow. No weapons fired. The report said, "It just observed us, then left." The council grew uneasy. "Increase patrols," they ordered. More ships were sent out. More scans were run. Then came the first clear contact. A small fleet appeared near a remote station. They did not attack. They did not hide. They simply arrived. Lisa Grant stood on the bridge of her ship, now far more advanced than before. "Hold position," she said. Her fleet waited in perfect order. Across from them, council ships formed a defensive line. "Identify yourselves." A message came. Lisa looked at the screen. "Send reply," she said. Her voice was calm. "This is a human fleet. We are not here to fight." There was a pause. "Human fleet?" The reply came. "That is not possible." Lisa did not react. "It is now." The council ships scanned them. Their systems struggled to understand what they saw. The human ships were faster. Their energy output was higher. Their structure was unfamiliar. "How did you do this?" one voice asked. Lisa answered simply, "We had time." Kevin Ross stood beside her, watching the data. "They are confused," he said quietly. Lisa nodded. "Good." On the council side, tension grew. "Should we engage?" One commander asked. "No," another replied. "We do not know their full strength." Back on Lisa's ship, another message came. "State your intent." Lisa took a moment before answering. "We came to see what changed." "Nothing changed," the reply said. Lisa looked at the stars. Everything changed. Silence followed. The two fleets remained still, facing each other. Then Lisa gave a small nod. "We are done here. Move out." Her ships turned as one and left. No shots were fired. No threats were made. But the message was clear. Humanity was back, and it was not weak. News spread quickly after that. Reports of human ships appeared in different places. Always brief. Always controlled. They never stayed long. They never showed everything. The council tried to follow, but failed. Human ships moved too well. They used paths no one else knew. They vanished before they could be tracked. Alan Brooks sent a message across human networks. "Limit exposure," it said. "Observe only." Humanity did not rush forward. It moved with care. Each contact was planned. Each action had a reason. They were no longer reacting. They were choosing. Lisa met with other fleet leaders in a secure channel. Faces appeared on the screen, each one older, stronger. "They are nervous," one said. "Good," another replied. Lisa raised a hand. "We do not push too hard." The others listened. "We show strength, not threat," she continued. "We let them understand." Kevin leaned back in his chair. "And if they do not?" Lisa looked at him. "Then we keep going without them." No one argued. They all knew the truth. Humanity did not need the council anymore. They had built their own way, and they were ready to defend it if needed. The balance of power had shifted, not in a loud war, not in a single moment, but slowly, quietly over years of exile. Now the galaxy had to face what it had created. The council could no longer ignore the truth. Humanity had returned, but not as it once was. They were no longer a single world with limited reach. They were something wider, something harder to understand. Meetings were called again in the Great Chamber, the same place where the vote had happened years before. But the mood was different now. There was no confidence, no easy answers. "We made a mistake," one delegate said. Others did not argue. They had seen the reports, the ships, the signals. "Can we reverse the decision?" Another asked. A pause followed. "We can try." A message was prepared. This time, it was not a command. It was an offer, far from the council. Alan Brooks received the signal. He read it once, then again. Maya stood beside him. "What do they want?" she asked. Alan gave a small smile. "To talk." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Now." Alan nodded. "Now." A meeting point was set. Neutral space. No weapons ready. Lisa Grant led the human side. Her fleet arrived first, holding position in silence. Soon after, council ships appeared. Smaller group this time. Careful. Respectful. A channel opened. "We wish to discuss terms," a council voice said. Lisa replied, "You may speak." There was no anger in her tone, only control. "The exile may have been too harsh," the voice continued. Lisa did not respond right away. She let the silence stretch. Then she spoke. "You chose it." "Yes," the voice admitted. "We did." Another pause. "We offer to restore your status," the council said. "Trade, travel, membership." Kevin, standing nearby, let out a quiet breath. "They want things back to normal," he whispered. Lisa kept her eyes on the screen. "Normal is gone," she said. The council waited. "We build our own systems," Lisa continued. "We do not depend on yours." The message was clear. The offer was not enough. "Then what do you want?" the council asked. Lisa thought for a moment. Then she answered, "Respect." The word hung in the air. "We deal as equals," she said. "Nothing more, nothing less." The council delegates exchanged looks. This was not the answer they expected, but it was the only one they were going to get. Alan joined the channel. His voice was calm. "We accepted exile," he said. "We did not accept limits." Maya stood beside him, watching the stars. "We learned to stand alone," she added quietly. The council had little choice. They could not force humanity back. They could not control them. "We agree," the lead delegate said at last. "We will treat you as equals." Lisa gave a small nod. "Then we can begin." The meeting ended without conflict. No victory speech. No celebration. Just a quiet shift in the balance of the galaxy. In the years that followed, human ships moved freely again, but they did not return to old ways. They kept their networks, their hidden paths, their independence. Trade happened, but on their terms. Contact grew, but with care. The council changed too. Slower, more cautious. They had learned a hard lesson. Pushing humanity away had not made them weaker. It had made them stronger. Spread across the stars, human colonies continued to grow, each one different, each one connected, not by control but by choice. Lisa stood on the bridge one last time, watching a new route open on the map. "We did it," Kevin said beside her. Lisa nodded. "We survived." Alan's voice came through the comm. "We did more than that." Lisa smiled slightly. "Yes," she said. "We became something new." The The stars stretched out ahead, wide, open, no longer closed by anyone's vote. Humanity moved forward, not as a lost species, but as one that found its own path. And this time, no one would decide their place again.